It's not a normal thing for anyone to even please go and stay home for 4 years.
Yeah.
It's not a normal thing for anyone to be unemployed for even 5 years, for 4 years, for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's not normal. So the fact that someone has normalized it and he thinks that it is a process everyone has to go through should tell you that the person needs therapy. We welcome you all back to this channel. If it is your first time watching us, we would actually ask that give us a like, share, and then subscribe so that anytime we drop a new video, you would be notified about it. Now, today we are going to be discussing a very important topic. We are looking at how Africans have normalized suffering and we've called it strength. For instance, you go into a public space or you go into a government office and you begin to see people lackadaisically serving, and we have long queues in these offices and it feels like pain, but then we don't see anything wrong with it. Sometimes we even take chairs and we sit down to queue. We see nothing wrong with it. This is what we are talking about. Why are we seeing suffering as strength? And then we are going to go deep into this particular discussion, and we are going to see how this has affected us as individuals and has affected us as a continent, and where we can go from here. All right. So as usual with my co-host, we are going to delve deeper. So Emmanuel, what do you think about this topic? Africans have normalized suffering and then we call it strength. What do you think about this?
Thank you very much. So like you mentioned, we want to welcome our people back to today's episode. I want us to understand just briefly, when we mention words like manage, suffering, endure, acceptance, like they are very common. And most of our people are well for what we are even about to discuss. It is very common to see people working very hard. And I mean very hard in an environment that is inefficient, an environment that is very harmful. When things are not going on well, when mindsets are being shaped in a wrong way, it is very easy for people to show this sign of suffering. And it's very common for them to even accept whatever challenges that they go through and normalize it. You see, if you remember growing up, we are taught that your ability to stay quiet or to silently go through suffering, your ability to do that is a sign of strength, which means that, like you mentioned, people are really going through a lot of stuff in Africa. But one of the easiest way to prove that they are tough, they are hard nuts, they are hard people is that they are always quiet about it. And like I mentioned, when we discuss some of these things, we are trying to let people know that they are going through things. We are not actually shaming our continent, but we are letting them know that there are so many things going on the continent that we have normalized them. For example, if systems are not working, or even families or parents are not responsible, we realize that we will automatically manage that. The kids will be managing it. The people in the family will be managing it. If the system in institutions are not working, like you mentioned, we all automatically adjust ourselves to it. And that is not normal. That is not normal. And that is why we need to discuss some of these things. So I want our people to really stick with us and enjoy what we are about to discuss. Like I always say, a man's perspective is his word. So once you are able to positively change your perspective, you will be able to transform your landscape of reality. You'll be able to see very well and you'll be able to change so many things. So we want our people to shape their perspective about some of these things and let them know that some of these things are not normal as we've considered those things to be in our continent. So that is what I want to say. I want to say that it is just going to be an intriguing one and we need our people to stick together.
That's one interesting introduction there. Now, you see, let me start with this example. You know, I remember many years ago when I traveled, my first job required us to do a certain training. And that particular training we're doing, we're about 2 Africans. And then in that training, it involved some physical activities we did as well. And while we're doing the physical activities, paired myself and the other African guy. And whilst we were doing it, he unintentionally pushed me harder than he's supposed to push me. So I fell. When I fell, the trainer was a lady. She was actually a white. She came. She was, no, no, are you okay? And she was checking if I was okay, and then if everything is okay, if they are supposed to provide any support and anything and all that. The other African guy standing there made a statement. He said, "Oh, he's a strong man. He's an African. He is very strong."
That's very intriguing.
Yes, that is what he said. He said, "Oh, he's a strong man. He's a strong African. He's very strong. He will stand up." So this is what we're talking about. The other people saw that there was a problem. They realized that this guy may be hurt. Something might have gone wrong. He might be going through pain.
Mm.
And the thing is that he's not coming from the country I'm coming from. He's coming from a different country.
No.
And this was the statement he made. And this is a normal statement that any African would make. He said, he's an African. He will survive. He's okay. That is what he said. Genuinely, like he said it out of a genuine place, because I understood it as an African. I understood that communication, but any other person that was there didn't understand it. They're like, what do you mean? That was basically a reaction. What do you mean? He needs attention. And they all came and they came to make sure that was okay. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we are talking about, that we've grown to normalize pain.
Yeah.
We've grown to normalize all these kind of things that are supposed to be pain that we need to talk about. We have seen them as strength. We have seen them as power. This is what I keep saying, that we are broken men and women in Africa. That is why I keep saying that we are broken men and women in Africa. You see what I mean? This has gone on to even be visible in our systems. We don't push our governments to do more for us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't push our governments. We don't push our leaders to do more for us, because some of the things we are going through, we feel like they are normal. We feel like, oh, every time we talk about it, it will be over. These are the things we are talking about. These are the kind of things we are trying to address. Imagine a young boy or a young lady traveling to work somewhere, and then the person faces a motor accident. The first thing that comes into our mind is that God has saved the person. It's true. Listen, it's true. God works in miraculous ways. He saves people. So what about those that were not saved? Does it mean God is a wicked God? He's not a wicked God. It's because we are seeing mediocre results. We are not talking about them. We are seeing things that are not of excellent performance, like bad roads. We have bad roads. We have bad drainage systems. We have a lot of things that are not going right. And yet we channel our energy into some things that are not important. This is what we are talking about. I'm talking about the Africa where it is okay for an opposition party to tackle a government in power that is trying to fix issues and say it is. You have an opposition party come and say that this is not important things to handle. I don't want to give examples, but it happens. We see, instead of solving problems, we want to endure them. That is what we are.
You are making very sensitive statements here, and I feel it's very profound. You see, especially with the practical or the training that you went and the whole story. People are of a view that is the only thing that separates, quote and unquote, black people from the world. That is what makes us so tough. So if I'm taking all of us back to our villages and where we grew up, you will realize that children struggle, like in the family, they'll go to school sometimes barefooted and sometimes even without food. Some of them can walk like miles, like 10 miles without even having a means of transporting them. Like, and it's so dangerous. I want to find out. So is it that it is out of ignorance on the side of the whole community and our family system, or is this sheer wickedness? Because what we are seeing right now, okay, it has made us tough. I know you would stress on that side. I have so many people over here, when they see other people go through all sorts of depression, like mental issues and all, they used to tell some of us that the things that we experience in Africa, it's way, way dangerous than these people. And it has made us so tough that we don't even go through much of those quote and unquote depression. And so they kind of praise that. They kind of enjoy that. Yes, we've come through a lot of fire. And so we don't experience or we feel like how these people feel. So right now, I want to find out that is the training that or the lifestyle that we go through in Africa, is it out of ignorance, or is it sheer wickedness on the part of our community or even on parents? That is why we have this kind of life.
I don't think it's wickedness. I don't think it's anybody's fault. No.
Okay.
It's practically a broken system. It's basically a broken system. You know, a broken system has a way it replicates itself. If someone is broken, any person he speaks to becomes broken. That is why people say that it is unwise for a married man or a married woman to take an advice from a woman who has gone through divorce. So if a person is broken or if a system is broken, automatically it replicates itself. Anybody going through the system automatically becomes broken. So it is not the fault of any individual or any person per se. It is the system that is broken. That is why when I started talking, I started attacking the system. But to also answer the question, it is also another thing that will go into culture.
Oh, okay.
Our culture teaches us that, for instance, in our language, we say a man does not cry. You see?
That's true. It's very common.
It's a normal, yes, it's a normal statement that we say, we mention to people. So that is why you have people even going to diaspora and they think that they are above depression. You are not above depression. Listen, depression works in a way that it breaks your ability to function.
Okay.
So the fact that you're not physically showing that you are depressed, it will show in your results. It will show in your productivity.
Yeah.
It will show in your conversations.
Yeah.
That is why psychologists are able to determine who is lying and who is not. Because all our body has a language. We have body languages. Everything you do, your body has a way of communicating to people what it is going through. That is why when you see a tired person, you know the person is tired. So the fact that you don't know the symptoms of depression over the body does not mean that you're not depressed. So it is real. That's why I said we Africans, majority of us are broken because you are broken, you don't know at what point your body is breaking. You don't know at what point your body is dissolving. That is the problem. You see, let me also give you an example. You contact people, you ask them, how are you? And the person responds and says that, I am managing. Or he's broken, Charlie, and they manage. Do you know that? As a matter of fact, I have reduced my level of conversation with a lot of people. I don't check up on people again because they are not genuine. They don't really speak about what is going on. Everybody's managing. If you like, take your phone and call 20 people. Call 20 people. 15 of them are going to answer, I'm managing. Oh, I'm managing. Everything is okay. I'm managing. Oh, we are managing. Even though things are not okay, we are managing. Everybody has become a manager. Everybody has become a general manager.
General manager.
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. You see, so it makes conversations generic. So you are actually checking on someone, you know, it's like automatically you know the answer that is coming. Then why am I checking up on you in the first place? Just 2 days ago, I called a friend and we're talking about a project he was doing. I asked him, how are you? He said, oh, Michael, everything is fine. Yeah. As usual, he's the normal conversation that people have. And this is one of the friends that I have that is on my heart. Like he is one of the people that actually gave me an opportunity to come out of my depression, the state. So I don't joke with him. So when he said that, then I asked him again, how is this project doing? What have you done about this project? What is the mistakes you have made here? What is going on here? Are you growing here? I don't like what you are doing here. This is not good. You have to change what you are doing here. I don't like how you are growing around this area. You're not developing enough. I started speaking and then to make sure that he comes into the fold. Then he made a statement. He said, Michael, you are one of the few people that actually call me and is genuinely concerned about what I'm doing. That was a statement he made. He said, you are one of the few people that is always genuinely concerned about what I'm doing. There are other people, if you are genuinely trying to ask them questions about what they are doing, they still brush it off. This is what I'm talking about. We are so broken that even pain has become strength. We are made to believe that long suffering is righteous. We are made to believe that the more you suffer, the better you become. Who told you that? To the extent that people try to compare how they are suffering. Someone comes and says, Charlie, for the past 2 days, I've not really eaten anything better. I'm just eating noodles. Another person, oh, you call this one suffering? You are not serious. The past 2 days, you are eating noodles. I am eating gari. I'm eating gari. And you are calling yours suffering. The other person will say, you think you are suffering. Me?
And those of you who doesn't know the word Gary is also one of the staple foods in Africa.
The person will ask you, you think you are suffering? Me? I've been drinking water.
My days.
This is what we call the suffering Olympics.
My God, there was a guy that for a day I didn't sleep. Like I was just hustling, like just working things out. I spoke to this guy. He was like, "Well, you call this suffering? I had not slept for 3 days." I was like, "What were you doing at all?"
That is the brokenness we are talking about. If someone has not eaten for the past 2 days, the first thing that should come to mind is what happened. We should start looking for solutions. But no, if you are suffering, me, I suffer past you. Like that's who we are. Even our parents. There were times that even if you want to get money and maybe board a car to go and buy something and come back, your parents will tell you that when they were young, they were walking 5 miles to go and fetch water and come back.
Yeah.
Suffering Olympics. That's what we call suffering Olympics.
So you don't see that, like especially what you said, as wickedness. Because I'm just saying this because of what you are saying. I feel like sometimes some of the leaders, the fathers, the people over there, sometimes the things they allow the young people go through is they see that as toughness, they see that as suffering, but they allow that. So for example, there was a lady friend of mine who completed her normal, she was even doing a national service. Like it's a normal voluntary service that we do in Africa. Like most of the African countries, they have those kind of services. So we do that for a year. And whilst the lady was doing that, she was almost ended. And there was this contract that was just for those people. And there was a director there who said that because when he completed his national service, he stayed in the house for 4 years before getting job. So he doesn't see why the lady should just straight away get that opportunity. She has to go through life. She has to experience that side of life before absorbing, before getting that opportunity. And you don't see that as wickedness.
That's why I keep saying that we are broken people. So the fact that you've gone through that abnormally, it's not a normal thing for anyone to even please go and stay home for 4 years. It's not a normal thing for anyone to be unemployed for even 5 years, for 4 years, for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's not normal. So the fact that someone has normalized it and he thinks that it is a process everyone has to go through should tell you that the person needs therapy. It will tell you how deep people are broken. So if you at any point you see that you've gone through a certain level of pain and you think that it's okay for your children to also go through it. You think that when you were growing up, nobody dropped you with car. You had to go through bus or you had to walk to school. So it's okay for your children to also go with a bus or to school on foot. That is a broken man speaking. Because you have normalized pain. And that is what the danger is. So because of that, such a person, when he is going to vote for a president or for his MP, and he is made to stay in the sun for 5 hours, he sees no problem with it. But that alone is even a broken system.
Yeah.
It is a broken system for anyone to go and stand on a scorching sun for an hour just to go and cast a vote. Then your system is broken. But you see, these are conversations we will not have because we don't even see it as problems. We see them as our daily lives. How can you leave home and say, I'm going to the bank? And you tell people that I'm going to the government bank, but then I'll be back in the next 4 hours. They ask you why. You say there's queue. How does that sound in your ears? Let me ask you, since you went to Canada, have you ever seen people even entering the bank before?
No. They even even if you go, you have appointment, so you know that I'm going
Yes,
here at this time, and once your time is up, you just enter.
my brother. So if we say that we have turned pain into endurance, this is what we are talking about. If you're seeing things that are not working well and say that this is making us suffer, we don't see them as that, but we adjust. Let me put it that way. We adjust to it. Something that is supposed to take just an hour to do, it will take you the whole day. Waste of life, waste of time. Let me give you another example. Recently, I went out with a family to get a new passport. They gave us the time we should arrive in the Ghana High Commission. We got there. Do you know that even the time we had on our appointment letter was just a formality? It was just a formality. We got there only to be surprised that we had over 100 people who were seated in the queue.
What?
Even in UK. I'm telling you. I almost forgot that I came from a broken system.
No, yeah. It has
thought-
followed us to UK. That's
Yes.
my goodness.
I almost forgot that I came from a broken system. I forgot. I was reminded that, man, where you came from,
Where you came from, you're almost forgetting.
this is how we do things.
So don't you think that somebody might also get it wrong, that we are propagating soft life? We are
What is
sort
soft
of
life?
pushing people, like just I know if you're in Africa, you should know what soft life is about. Like, we are
Yes.
propagating a more relaxed life, which means that we are not trying to help people to be tough. We are not trying to let people go through. You know, people usually say that I am who I am because of what I've been through in Africa, because of you know, we have kind of people like that. So
Yeah.
how can we debunk that kind of narrative? How do we help people who have that kind of idea, mindset in them, that, well, if I don't go through the fire, if I don't go through the nail like that, I don't think I'm worth it.
If you are saying that we are propagating soft life, what is soft life? You see, soft life is just, maybe people have a negative definition of soft life.
Okay.
The negative definition of soft life is where someone decides that he will not work, but that he wants to get it in an easy way.
Okay.
That is fraud.
That's fraud. Absolutely.
You can't cheat and then win every time. It's not possible. What we are discussing here is a broken system or a broken procedure.
Okay.
That is what we are discussing. A broken procedure in a way that, you see, we've given a series of examples where I said, even the example of the bank, that is not a soft life. That is a working system. I also give example of mind training. That is not soft life. That is a working mentality. If you are mentally fortified that if I'm going through pain, I need help, that is not soft life. That is basically healing. That's therapy.
Yeah.
That is why a lot of people go through a lot of things and they are not able to discuss with other people because they'll be seen as weak.
Weak people. I like that. Yes.
They'll be seen as weak. That is not soft life. That is a way of life. We are discussing how to make your way of life simple. How to make your way of life easy. And we've been made to also believe that no matter the problem you are going through, one day, everything will be over. Do you know number of people who said one day they all died? If you don't take no pain, no gain. If you don't, that is what we keep telling ourselves. No pain, no gain. That's what we keep telling ourselves. But the truth is that there are other parts of the world that they don't have to go through the pain we are going through, but they are getting double of what we are looking for. So what is going on? That is the question I ask.
Double of what we are looking
for. Yes. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain is a whack theory.
I like how the conversation is going. I hope a lot of people have taken so many things from it.
Yes, no pain, no gain. It's a whack theory.
Yeah. And that's what we've been told.
If you don't have the right information, you don't have the right systems, if you don't have the right mentality, if you don't have the right guidance, no matter the pain you go through, I'm not saying to demean anybody, but can you tell me who goes through pain than the laborer on the farm? Do you know how many acres of land he has to weed a day to be paid 10 cents? That is pain. is that 20 cedis is gain. So pain is not a rewarder of soft life. Pain is not a rewarder of easy life.
Yeah.
Pain is not a rewarder of success. No,
Yeah.
it is strategy.
Yeah. It's a strategy.
You have to be strategic and you have to be ready to unlearn and learn.
I like that. I like that. And I just wanted to say something that, you see, which if people are following us and if I really understand what you are saying, so it means that, Michael, it is not just only systems that have been put in place to sort of make us suffer, which of course it plays a major role, but sometimes our mindsets,
Mindset,
So
Yeah.
we've all believed that. And you're right. Those who are not going through that pain, they are getting double of what we are looking for.
Yes.
And that is why we meet such people. We are like, you see difference. You see that this guy, he's producing more, and those people are even producing in a more comfortable.
Of
But
course.
we still struggle, God. We still struggle all our day, suffer all time to ensure
Yeah.
and even endure all kinds of things. So I really like how you put your thought across and how you made this whole submission. And we hope people will really, really understand the point we are making out
Yeah.
of this. Yeah.
So you see, my whole concern is how we, the youth, will be rewired to come to a point where we realize that our mentality is the only way that we can become globally competitive. Because if you are going to listen to all this long suffering theory that has been passed on to you, you are never going to rise. If you are going to be listening to all this no pain, no gain theory that people give you, you will not rise.
You will not rise.
Because genuinely, people can advise you genuinely that, oh, but such is life. You have to suffer a little.
You have to, yes.
And then in the end, you'll be glorified. I'm not saying, see, get me right. I'm not saying that anyone going through struggles, it's wrong. I'm not saying that. But your mentality is what will make it wrong. If your mentality is that what you are going through is normal, then that is where you are trapped. That is where you are caged. You are caged in that system. The fact that you think that is normal is where the problem lies. So you have a young lady who has completed school and you say you went to do nursing. For 2 years, you have not been posted. When they ask you, you say, oh, even those before us, they stayed for 4 years. It means that you have normalized what you are going through. So you are okay to endure it. So you do not take any practical steps to be able to come out of it well. The moment you start normalizing these things around you, you begin to realize that your life is cut short. That is why we have a lot of us in Africa that we are not having dreams. We are not able to achieve bigger goals. We are not able to achieve bigger goals, not because it's impossible, but it's because that we have normalized certain things that are not supposed to be normalized. If I cannot access a particular platform or I cannot access a particular door, I shouldn't tell myself that it's normal. For instance, if there is a particular meeting that they say that this meeting is meant for a certain class of people, the moment you accept it and you say that, oh, this place, I can't enter this place, you have automatically normalized that for yourself. So even though you are bothered, worried that you couldn't access it, but you also saw it as, oh, I'm not like them, so it's okay. That is where your dream has been cut short. That is where the problem is. So I'm talking about the things that we have normalized that has destroyed our depth to achieve anything. But I hope that very soon, everything that we are going through, anything that we have endured, we will rethink them and begin to realize that these things are limiting us from achieving the best. Let me just end with this. If we begin to imagine that we don't want to stand in the sun again and vote, it's a very, very big problem. We are tired of it. You think that the government will not invest in electric voting? At that moment, they will start. They will solve that problem. But because we have endured and we have adjusted, that is why we are seeing it continuing.
That was, I think you've almost answered my last question, because I really, really wanted to ask about that. Because you should just understand that most of us from Africa, we don't demand efficiency, and we don't question the reason we are suffering that much, the reason we are
Yeah.
going through that. And it's so pathetic. It's so bad that sometimes you don't even know whether this situation needs to be managed or needs to be questioned. And I like that. I like how you put it, because if we all decide to let the government, the system know that no, this is not right, we can't endure that, they will react and they will
Yeah.
respond to us. But we are enduring, we've accepted it. There's something we call African humility and endurance. We are humbled enough to accept everything
Hmm.
as people. And that is rightly what you just said. That is very
Yeah.
true. We need to know
Yeah.
that some situations that we don't need to manage them. So imagine you've gone to an office and something that needs to be done within in less than 20 minutes. It's taking you 20 days. I'm saying 20 days. It's taking you weeks, months. And you know that practically this thing could be done within the shortest possible. There are people
I'm
you have to,
telling
there
you.
are some places you have to go with your chair. Like you mentioned, you carry your chair to the place.
Let me
It's
give another example. I was registering a company in the UK, my brother. It took me less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me say, okay, let me round it up. It took me about 10 minutes to register a company and receive certificate of incorporation. The same thing I did in Ghana, that took me months.
Sometimes even over a month, they will have to call you that it's ready.
Middleman will also come and take money. Yeah. We are broken, my brother. We are broken. We are broken. We are broken. Every aspect of us is broken. We need help. And the help we need is ourselves. Nobody will come and save us. Our mentality have to change.
Yeah, we need to change our mentality.
Recently, one of my businesses in Ghana, the mobile money number, the PIN code on it, I've lost it, and the person that's keeping it has also lost it. So I said, okay, I'll work around it and I'll get it. Then the person went to ask someone about how to get that PIN number. Do you know the person told him? He gave him a price that, okay, I will charge this amount of money and I'll connect it to whoever will do it for you. Wow, he charged. And then he came back again and he told my guy that the money he charged, he will not charge again. He has to check the history of our mobile money transaction to see if we are rich. Then he will charge.
My goodness.
So I said to you know the kind of person you are dealing with. That's when we are broken.
No.
Mentally we are broken. Psychologically we are broken. Morally we are broken. And we think that if we are talking about pain, you think it's about no. Pain, this is what we are discussing. This is exactly what we are discussing. The things that has made us see some things as normal. And whatever that person did, he thinks it's normal.
Yeah.
He has normalized it. And my guy too has normalized it. He felt it was okay. That's
necessary.
It was necessary. It was a necessary evil. You see what I'm saying? We have normalized nonsense. It can't happen. It can't happen where we are.
No,
it can't happen. You see what I'm saying? All right.
I like what you are saying, Michael. And just to sum the whole thing up, we need intentionality. Like, we really need to be intentional, people. Sometimes the system, like I'm trying to be a bit emotional. Like I always say, I believe very well that your submissions will really, really communicate deeper things to people wherever they are. So I feel that if the system is so hard to penetrate, the best approach is we working on ourselves. We become intentional and working on our mindset. There are places you can't even challenge them. The leaders, they are aware of this. And sometimes they even make it more harder for people so that they can have their way out. But then as individuals, we should also be very intentional about our life, knowing that this is not right and changing the whole thing. Like you mentioned, it will take us to so many places. I believe personally that Africa, the suffering we go through, sometimes they are even not necessary. They are all unnecessary. Like, they are really unnecessary, and there's this quote I read from your book that says that there is no virtue in suffering if the suffering is not necessary. So we really have to be very aware of these things and then just help ourselves. We will be great one day as Africa. We'll be great one day as individuals. So let's trust ourselves and help ourselves improve on our mindset as well.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank everyone that has been with us to this time. Once again, we will see you in our next video. We just want to plead with you. Subscribe, like, and then share.